I know things you never see. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed.
Come on, kid, get rid of some of them turds in the shit box.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, Rab himself. Hello and welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, your host, Rab himself. I have an awesome guest here in the studios, and by studios, I mean in his living room.
Hell yeah.
My guest today is comedian Nick Romero. And dude, some funny ass shit. I've seen some of your bits, and I can't wait to come out and see a show. And you have so much stuff going on. You have a show, couples therapy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're on tour right now. My girlfriend's actually here in the corner.
Hello.
She's hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got couples therapy. We're touring a few days every month in different state. Other than that, man, I'm just grinding it out, dude.
Yeah.
We've got a cartoon pilot that we're trying to get picked up right now.
Oh, nice.
We're looking for an animator so that we can like self-produce it and stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll have it all ready to pitch. We have like our story arc all laid out.
Oh,
just
hell
a
yeah.
ton of things in the
Dude,
fucking chamber.
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome, man. It was funny. I was just thinking about like when I met you the first time I went up on stage and told a shit story in front of everybody, and you know, I won't call it stand up, but it was the first time I ever got up there. And,
That shit was stand up.
and did that, and it was fucking nerve wracking, but it was so fun.
It was so funny too because the person that went, and I was telling Danielle about this last night. I was like, the person that went on before you just sucked the life out of the room. I don't remember who it was, but we were talking to our buddy Josh Denny, the comic, and I was talking to him after, and he was like, "Thank God Rab went up before I did." After that guy, he was like, "Because I don't think anybody else that didn't have like that type of like TV credit to their name could have pulled it off after that." And like, you saved the show that night. You realize that?
Oh,
right?
I'm gonna get a big head with that.
No, dude, you saved the show. And like, to discredit it and be like, I don't know if that's stand up. That is what we do, dude. We're going up there.
Yeah.
We're telling stories about things. And the story that you told, which I don't know if you've told it on this podcast, was fucking great because it was all in our minds. Anyways,
yeah,
and it was about the what was it about again? It was about the day, the running and shitting, right?
Yeah,
And how many X-lax you took that day, and the ramifications that it had throughout the rest of the day. That was the best part, because that's the shit that we don't think about. We're just like, oh, okay, cool. We saw this quick segment on the CKY video, and then it's on to the next thing, and it's out of our brains.
Yeah.
Because that was the editing style that you guys had at that time, was to just keep it quick, right?
Yeah,
that was like the thing. I was watching the podcast that you did with Bam too recently, and you guys were talking about that, how you guys were smart because you knew that attention spans were quick, and that was the thing. But like, you don't see the ramifications or the months after or the days after the effects of these things that you guys were doing that whole time. That's fucking gnarly to tell the story. Like, I want to hear the story again because it's funny. Like, basically what happened, like, dude, you were like banging some chick, right, that night?
Yeah.
And you shit the bed, right?
Well, I shit in between my butt cheeks, and then the poop water like ran down my legs as I was getting out of I disguised it in like, oh my God, I need a glass of water, and I ran out of the bedroom, and there's shit like leaking down my leg and onto the carpet, and
that shit had me dying so hard because just the length in which you were describing it, it seemed to me like you'd done it before. Like, you've probably told this story a bunch, right?
I've told it, yeah.
Because it seemed, as comedians, we call it tags, which is like the little jokes leading up to the big joke.
Yeah.
And you had them throughout the entire story. It did not get boring, and you went for 10 minutes on just this topic.
Yeah.
Do you understand how hard that is to do and what it is that we do?
I know.
To stretch one fucking story out for that length, and it didn't get boring the entire time, and you were fucking annihilating the room the whole time.
Damn,
I couldn't
dude.
believe that was your first time doing it.
Shit, I appreciate that. That means a lot, like, coming from a real comedian who actually does it.
Dude,
you
that
know?
was so funny, and that's the shit that we work on as comics, is stretching those stories out and keeping them going for a long time, because when you do get booked and you're booked on the road, people don't understand what goes into putting a show together or putting jokes together, and to make it like people will be like, "Oh, can you do an hour?" And you're like, "Fuck, I mean, I can." I don't know how great it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're not like a seasoned.
That sounds
dude
like
that's
an
been doing
eternity.
it For
You
yeah.
know? Like,
But dude, you went up there and talked about one fucking story. I'm sure you got a million just like it.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch.
Of like broken bones or fucking jumping up. I was telling Danielle this literally last night. I was like, we were watching that podcast and then we watched some CKY stuff and I was like, dude, that's my friend. Like I watched this guy while I was growing up. Him and his buddies are the reason why I've jumped off the roof of this house that we're in.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And like now we're sitting down and hanging out and talking. That's fucking weird for me. You know what I mean? But at the same time, so cool. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like, you have to understand that culture that you guys pushed at that time, that like MTV, when MTV was still fucking badass, was like everybody wanted to hang out with you guys. You realize that, right?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Every dude from age fucking.
I realize it because that's why I'm in a program of recovery nowadays.
Yeah, man.
Because I did go hang out with everybody.
Every dude right now from age 28 to like 40, 45 at one point while watching your guys' videos or watching your shit on TV was like, I want to fucking hang with those dudes.
Dude,
I want to party with you. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that happened a lot, dude.
And it was wild, and it was a crazy, decade of my life for sure.
Just anywhere you went, everybody was just shoving booze in your face, right? Or
booze,
like shoving
drugs,
the
women,
party
whatever,
got brought to you, even if that wasn't your intention, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was definitely that whole lifestyle of living like a rock star, for sure, for like 10 years.
So hard to get out of.
Yeah,
when you get sucked into it.
Yeah,
and that's something that we have in common too.
Yeah,
is that I know it's taboo. We don't really talk about it, but like we're both dudes. We're both in recovery.
Yeah.
Like how much time do you have?
My sobriety is September 25th, 2009. So
September 25th, dude.
Yeah, like
I'm September 15th. 2015.
Okay, there you go.
So
yeah, good stuff.
September, dude.
Yeah. So
What's up?
It's like the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. The but so yeah, a little over 9 years, and it's been incredible to be sober and living a sober life. And
have you done the peaks and valleys throughout the 9 years, or like did you hit a point where it was just like, okay, I'm at a plateau and everything's good? And I'm consistent. Or is it constantly? Are you still going through the same shit that I'm going through at 3? You know what I mean?
Probably, maybe not as deep of valleys and not as high of peaks, but they're still there. Like, because obviously the goal is to have that
plateau.
Yeah, but I don't think we get there, and I think that's why they say progress, not perfection. And,
I don't think it's an attainable thing, right? And that's basically what we're taught.
You strive for it, but you strive to not let it get so out of hand. But they happen. Right. Those ups and downs happen, and I think like obviously because life continues to happen, and you learn how to cope with it through recovery. But you, I mean, you know all this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but. It's like some days you're good and some days you're not good at it. Yeah. The only thing is there's some days where it's like, well, I just didn't drink and do drugs today, so I got that going for me.
Dude, sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some days, like, that's enough. Yeah. Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
A lot of times that was enough.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, okay, I can lay down and be like, all right, I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't fucking really accomplish anything today.
Yeah.
But what I did by not doing anything was an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, or I dropped a bomb on all my personal relationships. But hey, they'll appreciate me again tomorrow. But I didn't get drunk.
Dude, I loved that part about the program though.
Yeah.
Was being able to go and I think that's kind of what prepped me for stand-up was like going in there and being able to talk about just sad shit for so long. Yeah. And then eventually I was able to start making it funny along the way.
Yeah.
After
and you have
saying
to.
it so many times, I started laughing at it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to be able to laugh through all that dark, morbid shit, or else, you know.
And that's what my whole fucking stand-up routine is, dude. I'm literally just taking you along the path of what fucking happened.
Yeah.
You know what I
well,
mean?
and that's a great point because I want to hear kind of what happened with you because I do know a little bit about your history of being, you know, in a band and basically doing like Warped Tour and these other things.
Yeah,
and,
it's not much different from like
yeah.
basically what you went through, except the party wasn't really coming after me anymore. Nobody was like once like my little bit of stint of like whatever popularity died out really quick, and I didn't want to let it go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was the dude bringing the party to like friends, and they're like, "Dude, grow the fuck up."
Yeah,
Like, when are you gonna get it together? I'm just like, fuck you, man.
I got it together. What
Yeah,
are
what
you
are you talking about?
So what band were you in? Like what was
I was in a band called Pristine.
Okay.
So we sounded at the time it was like sounded like Deftones meets Glassjaw meets The Used.
Yeah,
like
okay.
that's whole Warped Tour scene style music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like screamo-y, I guess you would call it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Post-hardcore.
Okay, and you were the singer, right?
Yeah, and I was a singer. And the last time that I was on this thing, we didn't air it, but like the story that I told you about was like I literally shit my pants 10 minutes before going on stage at Warped Tour.
I want to hear that now because I don't know if we'll put that one on, but let's hear the real.
Yeah. Okay, so like, you know,
so you're hold on. So let's paint the picture. You're the singer for this band who's like, you know, you're kind of badass band.
We're kind of doing our thing, you know
Got
what I mean?
tattoos,
We never really got big,
yeah,
whatever.
But you're like this badass rock star dude, and like for me to run around shitting, oh, it's funny. But you're like this badass rock star dude going on stage, and then
right. See, that's the thing. But like my mentality was like you guys, man. I just wanted to have a good time. I was fucking partying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're late to the venue. To the fairground or whatever it is, wherever the fuck we were. I don't remember exactly, but we were late because I was waiting for a guy who knew a guy that could get me some fucking drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, drugs.
So we're late. I'm refusing to go. You can't go on stage without your singer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you're doing what I want. So everybody's pissed off at me. Whatever, we get there, I have to shit so bad they won't pull over. You know what I mean? They won't pull over. We're gunning it for like 2 hours to get to where we got to go.
Yeah.
Nobody's pulling over. I'm telling them, dude, I got to shit really bad, whatever. I had a habit of not carrying equipment to the stage or helping set up.
Oh, you're a diva, little crybaby
They call it
bitch. Yeah, just like all of us addicts. I get it.
They call it lead singer syndrome.
Yeah.
So I had that.
You're
that
important.
Shit. I'm the guy. They're here to see me, not you guys. You know what I mean?
What
Like
a
that was
dick.
the fucking bullshit
What
mentality.
a dick.
It really, it was a fucking idiot. So,
But yeah, I mean, that's what happens though.
So I show up, whatever. I'm fucking wasted, like half a bottle deep. You know what I mean? Like getting ready to do my stuff. And so they're like, no, dude, you got to get one arm to help carry this cab, and the other arm, you got a guitar. In the fairgrounds, you were on Warped Tour, right?
Yeah.
So the fairgrounds, you're walking like a mile,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Carrying shit.
Yep.
So I'm walking there. You know, the bathrooms are in one designated area across the fucking fairground, which is far
Conveniently
all the way on the other side from where the stage is.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking okay. I dropped the stuff. Shit's going down my leg. I'm wearing shorts that day. I've already done the thing where.
So wait, you have it in your hands and you shit and then it.
Oh, I start shitting.
Did you think it was a fart or like what? Like
No, it was like I've been holding it too long and I
Just
can't.
gave
My
in.
bowels are like, we don't work anymore, dude. It's done. Like,
I love that you're just like that's it.
yeah. So I'm shitting and I'm like shitting and I just drop the stuff and I start running to the bathroom. And when you're on tour for like an extended length of period of time,
Yeah.
like you've already like ran through all your clean underwear.
Yeah.
You've worn them inside out. You've done.
You don't
the
have
thing.
any on at some
It's
point.
middle of summer and
Yeah.
it's just getting hotter the further east you're traveling.
baking that
just
shit.
baking in a So I'm in these fucking cut off jean shorts, no underwear. And shit's just running down my leg. Like you're seeing the shit come down my leg.
There you go.
And I'm running to the bathroom, and like there's kids like that know the band, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
seeing this happening, I'm literally cleaning my
This
chones
fucking
out,
turdy
just
up,
butt
yeah.
naked, like shit just everywhere, cleaning my fucking shorts out in the sink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
and
felt like a
shitting
real awesome
Yeah.
rock star at that moment.
after shitting the rest out, and I got to put those shorts back on. You know what I
Ew,
mean?
for real?
Yeah, dude, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna walk across the whole place with my dick hanging out? No, I don't have anything on me. So I put the wet shorts back on.
Yeah, I know that feeling too.
And it's time to go on stage.
Yeah.
Sound check. It's time, dude. You're on. You're late. You know what I mean? So I go up, and I got it out, but I'm not good. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I don't trust.
So,
I
half a
wouldn't
turd.
trust a fart fucking for anything at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, and like at the time, like our band was known for like going a little wild. You know what I mean? And like kind of going crazy. So the kids are there to see us fucking like break some shit or fucking like jump off the fucking whatever and like jump around and throw shit around.
Yeah.
And I straight up say on the mic, I'm like, hey guys, I know what you're here. Like after the first song, I just do it very blandly, do what I'm supposed to do. And I just say to the guys,
I got a little tummy ache.
I'm like, I'm a little sick today, guys. Like, I know you're here to see a show, blah, 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 whatever. And the guitarist that has his mic set up to do like backing vocals or whatever.
Yeah.
Goes, tell him the truth.
Sold your ass right out.
I'm like, dude, shut. You know, like the whole like, dude, shut up. You know, covering the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, tell him the truth. I was like, fuck, I'm already fucked up. I'm like, fuck it. I shit my pants. Yeah. Everyone just cheers. I'm like, okay, cool.
You
know what I mean?
you get an awesome reaction.
But dude,
Yeah.
you
So-
get it? We've done some fucking dumb shit.
Yeah.
Drunk
so you
and
guys
stoned. And that
toured-
wasn't the first time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been passed out here. Like, my poor fucking parents, dude. Like, my stepmother, I know a couple of times, has like walked in on me, like laying in the bathtub after puking and like shitting.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
just sitting
yeah.
there with like shit and puke on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah, that's the idea.
But,
of the
dude, I've
alcoholic.
shit my pants more times in my 20s than I can ever remember shitting them as a kid, though.
Yeah.
But I do remember one time, since we're on the bathroom
I love
break
that was
podcast.
just so easily right over. Oh, I've shit 'em more in my 20s than when I was a baby.
But I do
all right.
I got one time that I do remember, and this is in my stand-up, and I'll tell you how I tell it.
Yeah.
There was one time that was really prominent. I was in kindergarten, and we're all sitting crisscross applesauce on the carpet. You know
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Well, the teacher's up in front. She was giving out awards that day. And I don't know if you remember, but when we were 6 years old, dude, nothing was funnier than farts.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And they're still fun.
I'm almost 40, and nothing's funnier than farts.
So you get it,
Yeah.
right? So nothing's funnier than farts. I look around the room, I feel one coming on. I'm like, ooh, I'm about to fucking, it's my time to shine.
Yeah,
you know what
there we
I
go.
mean? I look at my buddies, I go to let one go, and out comes a king size Snickers bar built to share, dude. All right, I turn ghost.
You just like,
Dude.
lift off the ground.
Yeah,
Shit.
I just swizzle.
Yeah.
So I turn ghost white. I don't know what to do. I grab my pant leg like this so it doesn't come trickling out. I stand up and I start going to the door to go to the restroom. All of a sudden I hear student of the month this month, Nicholas Romero.
Dude, you're like, what? Not right now.
Yeah, for the people watching this, I'm Nicholas Romero, just so we're on board.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I go up to the front to accept my award.
With the shit in
with
your
the
pants.
shit in my pants, still clutching it. And she goes, Nick, how'd you do it? Give us a speech.
You're like, well,
What?
I tried to fart, but oh, not this.
So the most eclectic thing I could think of to respond with in my 6-year-old brain in that moment is fucking, I had an accident. You know?
Yeah.
To the whole crowd, I had an accident.
So you thought she was asking about how'd you do the shit?
I just,
How did you take the shit in your pants? And you're going,
You know,
but really
I'm-
she means how are you the best student?
Yeah.
But you're like, this turd is the only thing
well,
on my
I'm just,
mind.
I'm telling her, like, help me, I shit my pants, basically, without saying, help me, I shit my pants.
yeah.
I'm like, I had an accident.
Oh,
you know what I
man,
mean? You
yeah.
know, that's like code to
Yes.
older people. Like, oh, okay, he just pooped his pants. I should probably figure this
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm the one who's supposed to do that, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
So I'm like, I had an accident. And like everybody's like looking stunned until it fucking dawns on them.
Yeah.
And like in their brains, they're probably thinking, this is the most humble 6-year-old in the world. He accidentally became student of the month. Little they know I'm smuggling the entire box of Lincoln Logs in my Ninja Turtle undies. Right?
Yeah.
So I get excused to go to the restroom finally. And I take the Ninja Turtle undies off. And I remember when I was a kid seeing my mom do this. When I would shit my pants, she would like take the underwear, flush the shit out, and then she would hit the flusher or
Yeah.
whatever while keeping the chones in there to like wash them out. You know what I mean? To like
Yeah, yeah,
rinse them
yeah.
off. So I'm doing that in the fucking toilet.
Yeah. I love that you remembered that she did it because you were clearly shitting your pants so often that she had a way of cleaning them.
Dude, I'm just assuming that what was going through my head
Yeah.
at that time was because when you're 5 or 6, at that point, like shitting your pants isn't okay anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, you shouldn't
You
be
don't
doing
wanna be
that
that guy.
anymore. So I'm sure like the last time that I shit my pants prior to that, I was probably getting like a really dude, come on. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
shamed
Yeah,
while
yeah,
she's
yeah,
doing the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
in the toilet with the underwear.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh, maybe if I just do this, like nobody's gonna find out and I'm not gonna get in trouble that I
Yeah, yeah.
shit my pants. So I did that. I put my fucking pants back on and I go back to class with fucking wet chones, dude. Wet Ninja Turtle undies.
Soggy turd pants.
That's my shit story.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a pair of soggy turd pants on after I shit on the window in New York City because we had to go.
What?
We had to go like.
Why were you shitting on a window
So,
in New York?
Yeah, like I took a shit on this old couple's breakfast in New York, like right on the window. I pressed my ass against the window and then took a
Oh,
shit.
while they were in there
They're
eating?
in there eating, and I pressed the ass against the window and then shit.
Was it on film?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was on
okay.
one of the CKYs, and then we ran away from it and ran back up the stairs in order to get away from the whole situation. And Bam was filming it, and we were laughing as we're going up the steps. And he tells me like, "Shit, dude, I think I hit the record button and I missed the part where we were laughing up to the steps. Like, we got to go redo that." And I had already jumped into the shower and rinsed the pants off, and there's shit and water all in them. And I was like, we can't go do it. We can't fake a laugh. That's lame. And
Yeah.
he's like, dude, but we have to because it's so good. It looks so good.
Little did you know that was going to be a regular thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
were telling me, right?
yeah,
They were
yeah.
like, Rab,
Oh, on Viva La Bam, yeah.
they tested, and I guess 15-year-old girls like it when you laugh. So can you do the laugh more? I remember you telling me that.
And you're like, just make me laugh.
Yeah, how
But-
fucking lame. How
But,
fucking lame,
yeah,
dude.
that's the world of TV. But so yeah, to finish that, and I don't know if I've told it on here before, but what happened was I was like, okay, cool, let's go film this laugh, and I
right,
put these
whatever.
soggy, shitty, wet pants on, and I go get into the elevator with Bam, and we go in the elevator, we get on the elevator, start going down. As the door opens in the lobby, the door opens, and it's the old people whose breakfast I took a shit on. Like the old people who were at the window are standing right there at the fucking door as it opens.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what? Because I was like, they're staying in the same hotel as us. And I flip out, I run right past them with this soggy, wet shit pants. And I'm like, start cracking up. And I'm like, I can't believe it's fucking them. And we're dying laughing. And we're running up
Was
the
that on
steps.
camera at
Yeah.
least?
And so he got the video of that. and we used that laugh.
That's
and it was
so
a real laugh
funny.
because they were right there at the bottom of the
So it worked
elevator.
out.
So it was
No
it
bullshit
yeah,
TV magic.
It wasn't lame. It wasn't
That's so
fake.
funny, dude.
But yeah, I could relate to the soggy, wet, shitty pants.
Fuck, man.
But it's funny. I was thinking when you were telling that story of like getting in trouble. Like my buddy's little boy is like being potty trained, and he like he'll try to go to the bathroom and stuff. But what he'll normally do, like when we were just over there the other day, he'll just wander underneath this little like play school table and sit there and stare at you, and then just shit like under the under the
with
table.
eye contact?
Yeah, like just looking you deep in the eyes as he's shitting,
Just he's-
and you're like, ew, like. I don't want to be
His face.
staring at you while you're shitting. Like I could see him like grunting, like
Oh no!
you know. But it's just fucking.
You're like, this is
hilarious.
supposed to be intimate,
Yeah.
dude. What are you doing?
It's funny the shame though that the little kids feel of the shit.
I mean, well,
And I turned that around and ended up just using it to my advantage. I have
Yeah.
no shame. I will
No
shit
shame.
in front of everybody.
Shit
And you can watch my
on command.
asshole as the turd comes out. I have no problem with that.
dude.
But yeah, so okay, so you got a couple, good shit stories there for sure. And I wanted to hear a little bit more about the band though. You guys tour, you did Warped Tour. And did you make an album?
Yeah, we had an EP that we did like a distribution deal with a Japanese distribution company, so they kind of
You guys are huge in Japan.
So they kind of pushed it more overseas.
Nice.
But like over here, nobody gave a shit.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
like Jimmy Pop and evil Jared Hasselhoff from Bloodhound Gang are like buddies of mine, and
Are they like huge overseas?
yeah,
That's, like, a
I mean
thing?
they were huge here. They had a huge hit here, a couple huge hits here, and then now it's like in Germany and Europe and all that. Like they're doing huge
Everywhere, right?
shows. Yeah,
So that's how it was. It was like nothing really took off here because the bands that we did kind of sound like and stuff like that were already like established, and they're the dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like we got this like sub-genre thing that's like kind of a blend of that, and it was kind of taken off everywhere else. So like it was cool for a couple of years. But yeah, and then after it, like basically everybody went on hiatus. We went on hiatus. We never really like announced a breakup or anything like that. It's just everybody I was in the band with. I was 21 or 22 at the time.
Yeah.
When the band was like starting to
Get tired
to be
and,
done.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you guys are on the road a lot.
we're on the road a lot. Everybody else in the band was much older than me, like getting ready to get into their 30s, had children already. So they
Yeah.
were like, oh, we did what we wanted to do. We're kind of done.
Yeah, moving
Like, we don't need
in
to
a different
chase it
direction.
anymore. We're getting
Yeah.
jobs and stuff, and we're having kids, and we're settling down. Here I am at 22, like, but I'm a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't you go anywhere.
What do I do now?
I got more pants to shit.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So the party just kept continuing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was just a slippery slope, dude, until it got to the point where, like, I was dating this chick, and this is, like, the most recent girl prior to Danielle that, like, I was dating. And we were just both gnarly alcoholics, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So we would have explosive fights and then make up. Explosive fights and then make
Yeah.
up until it got to the point where she was like, I'm tired of the explosive fights. She fucking turned me into the cops, dude.
Yeah.
I did some time in jail on a fucking DV case.
Oh wow.
Got out. 3 years I've been here in this house back with my parents, like getting shit back together. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean?
Sorting it
I
out.
put out an album all about it with the band Stray Life that I did. That was the last project that I did that was music. It was the first time I'd ever rapped, which was cool. Like,
Yeah.
I rap on that album.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was fucking badass. You know what I
Nice.
mean? Like it was a cool thing because I'd never done it. I didn't know I was good at rapping. And
Yeah.
then I put that out and that was cool. But like I still have a second half that like I haven't released yet.
Yeah.
That like me and my buddy Jeff Sehun, who's in a band called Let Live, or was in a band called Let Live at the time, we kind of did the whole album together and broke it up into 2 parts. So it's like
Yeah.
still ready to be mixed and mastered and released the second half, but I fell into stand up. And
So how did you like? So okay, so you're kind of playing with a new band, doing that, and then how did you fall into stand up?
okay, so it's weird. When you get sober, you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, what do I do for
Yes.
fun?
Yes, I know that.
You know, like things get
Yeah.
boring. So I
Yeah.
just started hanging out at the Comedy Store all the time.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have anything to do, and I'd just go and hang out at the store.
Yeah.
And like started making friends with the door guys, and then they just started letting me in. Well, I don't know if I could say that, but like when you know people, like they let you.
They started letting you in for money.
Yeah, for money. I paid for every ticket.
Yes.
But basically, I would just sit in the back and I would get to watch all these awesome comics like doing their thing. And like, then I started going on Mondays regularly.
Yeah.
And on Mondays, it's the Kill Tony podcast,
Yeah.
which is basically open micers go up and do a minute bit and then get roasted
Yeah.
ruthlessly.
I've been to the Kill
You've
Tony
been to the Kill
podcast.
Tony
yeah,
show?
my buddy Rick Cossack.
Yeah, Rick goes all the time.
Yeah,
Rick and
he brought me there.
Jason, Wee Man.
Yeah. mhm.
They're there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rick brings me up from time to time, and we'll go up there and hang out and check it out.
those dudes
and
are.
that thing is that. I mean, that's a fucking big show.
It's cool.
You know,
what
it
I
is,
mean?
it's
You're in
fun.
front of like 250, 300 people
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah,
And
so
when you tank in
that's
front of
pressure
those
for
dudes,
sure.
it's brutal. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I just started watching that consistently for like 8 months, never signing up, anything like that. And then finally I got the balls to do it. And the first time I signed up, I got pulled.
Oh.
And I didn't really have anything prepared. And I went up on this bit that like I've retired since, and it wasn't ready yet. And I just fucking tanked so hard, dude.
Oh, what was the bit?
It was about like Reese's peanut butter cups or something like that.
Oh, they are delicious.
They're delicious. But so what the bit
perfect
turned
combination.
Into, what the bit turned into is like, you remember those Reese's commercials from the 90s, there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
Yeah.
You remember them?
Yeah.
And then I go, that's bullshit. You're telling me if I crumpled up a Reese's, mashed it on my balls, and had my dog lick it off, that's not a wrong way to eat a Reese's?
yeah.
And then I sit with it for a minute and I go, because you all know damn well dogs can't have chocolate.
Yeah.
And like, that's the bit.
Yeah.
Like when it was
It's not
finally
bad. Yeah.
stupid.
Like,
It's
but like, what's the big deal?
But that was the bit, and what it ended up becoming was that dumb joke.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I was like playing with it where I'm like, really? What about morally? And then I list off these like immoral ways to eat Reese's.
Yeah.
Like, what about out of Bill Cosby's candy jar? You know, might not remember how many you ate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like going up doing like an open mic bit on this stage, on the main stage of the Comedy Store in front of 250 people, and they're just like, we're not having it, dude. This isn't funny.
Yeah, and then they just ripped you.
And that was the first time I'd ever done stand-up, was in front of 250
God
people.
Damn, that's awful.
First time.
Yeah.
And they just...
What made you want to keep doing it?
that rush of like...
Yeah.
Dude, it was a high, and I
Yeah.
hadn't felt that low in a long time either.
So
So
you
I was
liked
clinging
that a
on
little
to
bit.
anything that made me feel anything.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then I
Yeah,
just started making friends.
Yeah.
And just started hitting the mics around town.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, things, like, I got a solid act together, and now we're out on the road, and, like, I'm headlining and
Yeah, that's awesome.
out of state. You
So
know
how
what I
many
mean?
years have you been doing it now?
It's a year.
Oh, a year.
It's
So this
coming
was
up-
this was a year ago when you did the Kill Tony.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year. It'll be a year in March
Oh wow.
is when in
And you hustle because I see your
Dude.
Instagram and you guys are doing shows all the
you see
time.
it.
And
yeah, there's
you're- yeah.
I was talking to Josh Denny about this on his podcast. There's a right way and a wrong way to grind.
Yeah.
Yes, be out every night doing your thing
Mm-hmm.
and be telling your jokes, but pay attention to the audience and pay attention to what's working and what's not.
Right.
Because if you're going up and you're just doing the same thing over and over again,
And you're
like,
not.
eventually it's going to get a laugh. Like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Construct your shit to the feedback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people have problems with that. You'll see 2-3 year plus comics going up doing the same shit that they've been doing for 2-3
Right.
years, just tanking hard because it's like they refuse to alter the bit because they're not humble enough to be like, oh, I'm not, what I wrote originally isn't funny.
Yeah, that and exactly, and what I see a lot with comics or comedians that I struggle with a little bit because I love the
You love stand up.
Yeah,
You love the
yeah.
intricacies of it.
yeah I love the art form and it's incredible. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of George Carlin, and so I did that
Hell yeah.
bit and like, but everybody like Lenny Bruce is so amazing for what he
The
did
man,
for
dude.
freedom of speech and all
Back
and then going into obviously Pryor and all of the guys and Chris Rock and
All the main
Chappelle and-
staples.
yeah, and all this. But I love it. I love Bill Hicks. He's amazing. And Dennis Leary was the shit. Like when I was young, I loved No Cure for Cancer. And like,
Right.
there's so many. Like I'm a huge fan of stand up. But one thing that really drives me nuts, not to get too far from the point, because the point for me was like when you go out there and then you bomb. and then you go, oh, it's the audience. They're
Yeah,
a shitty
there are
crowd,
no.
shitty this.
There's
It's like,
no.
no,
Sometimes
it
there's
isn't.
there's crowds that don't react like the last one did. Sure, like maybe
Yes.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for the most part, like if you get titters out of a crowd that's already not that responsive, just be glad that you got that.
Yeah, like
But you can't blame it on the audience ever.
Right, and the thing is, like, of course, there are some people that come out and they're like most people will come out and they're like, I want to laugh today. That's why I'm going to see comedy. But some people come out and they're in such a place that they can't even laugh or whatever. Like I noticed the night that I went up and did the story that. Okay, so Sam Tripoli, he's hilarious, and he killed. Like, he went out, and he fucking killed, and people were cracking up, and I was laughing. I don't know if I was laughing harder than everybody, but I was laughing. Those shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then somebody went after him. It was, like, a little dark, because the whole idea of the show was to be dark.
Dark humor.
And do that. And it was a little dark, but it didn't do well. And then someone else went, and it didn't do that well. And what I noticed while that was happening, and what I also noticed while Sam was killing, was that there was this girl up there in the front row, her and her boyfriend, that did not want to laugh at anything. There was this funny stuff happening. And this shit was hilarious, and they're not laughing. They did not want to laugh, and I was like, oh God. So I started getting in my head a little bit about it before I was going on stage, and I'm like, oh, that chick does not want to laugh. So. Luckily for me, I had never been up on stage, and I didn't know what the feeling was or what it was. I've been on tons of stages as far
for
as with
different
CKY
things.
and with that and with like announcing things or promoting things or doing Jackass live stunts or
Right.
I've done all that, but I've never gone up there in a stand-up situation to tell jokes or tell a funny story and try to get laughs. And when I walked up there on the stage, I did not know that spotlight blinds you like that. So then I was like, like I'm all like I can't even see.
You're
And
like,
I'm
oh, I can't see their
"Whoa."
faces anyways.
Yeah, and I noticed that, and so that right in the beginning, I was sort of blinded and like looking down a little bit.
It's like that at that particular spot really bad.
Okay,
where you
yeah.
really can't see people's faces.
Yeah.
And for me personally, that shit throws me off my game sometimes.
It
Because
threw me a
sometimes
little,
I
yeah.
like I really like to look at people and talk to them directly.
Yeah.
So that they can relate and to draw them in and get them on my side.
And I thought there would be some sort of intimacy of connecting with people that were there, but when that happened, I was like, dude, I'm like blinded a little, and it threw me off at first, and then it kind of helped because then I could block out the thought of this girl's not
they're
going to
not
laugh at anything.
laughing. Yeah.
And so then I started telling the stories and doing this thing. And I guess the only thing that she thought was funny in life was shitting yourself and stuff to do with shit. Because as I told that, then I'm like, I'm hearing laughs and it's like, okay, this is cool. This is working. these are working. This is good. And then like I kind of looked out of the corner of my eye and I saw her laughing
And
for
they're
the first
cracking up.
time that night. And
Well,
I
you
was
were
like,
also the like the face of the show that night. You were the one with
Oh,
the
I didn't
most
even
credits.
realize that,
So
yeah.
you were the one that was the most recognizable as far
Okay.
as face value goes too. And sometimes people are showing up for the show
and if they
on-
know you, they'll relate
on
easier.
face value
Yeah.
alone and don't give a shit about anybody else that isn't famous.
Absolutely, because I've heard like obviously, like I said, I just told a story, but I've heard like you guys, like real comedians that say that like it'll be like, you know, Seinfeld or somebody that's like a big time and everybody knows them. It's like, well, I don't even have to try. I just walk out there and then they already think it's funny because I'm there. And
Just
it's like-
because you're saying
and it was maybe it was Seinfeld or maybe it was Chris Rock or one of the big guys. They were like. Basically, like it's hard to work out material because you can't judge whether they're just laughing because they know you.
Yeah, that was on that
or-
HBO special that they did, Talking Comedy, right?
Okay, yeah,
They were
yeah, yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
that. It was Rock, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais, and Seinfeld
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
it. And
yeah.
they're like,
Yep,
do you
that was it.
think they're just laughing because it's you?
Yeah.
Or do you think the material is actually funny?
Yeah.
And there is I mean, they'll give you some more wiggle room, but at the end of the day, if the material's not funny, it's just not funny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it'll
Yeah.
only, that star power will only last for so long before they're like,
Yeah.
boo.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What happened?
I came here to laugh, asshole.
Where's Costanza?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's that
Yeah.
whatever guy?
Yeah.
Where's Michael Richards?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And I know. And so, but it was funny because, yeah, she laughed. And then It was weird, and I could imagine how, as you know, if it was something that I did pursue, like you
The
pursue, like
Right.
I could imagine how that would eat at you though. Of like, okay, I got the laughs here, but why didn't that
But I
bitch
didn't
laugh?
get that motherfucker.
Yeah. And
I've talked to
yeah.
Sam Tripoli about that too, and he's been
Yeah.
like, I forgot where we were. I think we're at the parlor on I don't know if it's on Sunset, but it's in downtown. And he was doing, or in Hollywood, and he was doing, and the room just wasn't paying attention. And Sam's like a vet, dude. This guy's been doing it for
And
a
how
long
could you
time.
not pay attention to him? Because
Yeah.
he grabs your attention.
He grabs your attention, and he was really trying, like really going for it that night. And he got off stage and he walked off and he was like, fuck, I had to work for them tonight.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
what came out of his mouth. He was like, I had to work for them tonight. And when you have nights like that, and it usually happens when you're doing like a bar show. Because people, some of the people that are there, like, are just showing up to drink. They didn't even know a comedy show was going to happen. So they don't give a fuck what you're doing up there.
Yeah.
They're there to drink and whatever, do what they came there to do.
Yeah.
And they got their backs to you.
That's the worst, though. That seems like the hardest thing to do.
Dude, those are the people that you try to target and cater to the most. And like the easiest way to ease that tension is to straight up just start going after them.
Jab at him, yeah.
Go after them. Make them pay attention to you.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
We just had a show like that right when we got back in town. So we were doing sold out shows in Phoenix, and which is awesome because that's where you make your money is on the road.
Yeah,
with comedy. Unless you're fucking Joe Rogan or the dudes that are
Yeah.
regularly doing the store every night.
Yeah.
You're not making shit here. The stuff that you're getting booked on, you're like maybe gas money
Yeah.
or maybe a drink ticket that night.
Yeah.
Which is completely useless to dudes like you and me.
Yeah.
You know what
it's
I
like
mean?
in Sleepwalk with Me, with Birbigla's like first movie, like where he's like driving that shit ass Volvo to get gas money, it just enough to get there and back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing it for here around LA. Nobody's paying shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
right.
You might get lucky and get like we just got a recovery center that reached out for us to do some stuff, and they're going to pay us like way more than we would
Right.
get.
That's
really
awesome.
Anywhere.
But that's like an off the beaten
But that's
path
like doesn't
sorta,
happen
yeah.
often.
Right.
And but yeah, so you're doing that. So we show up to this bar show, so sold out shows in Phoenix. Awesome. Badass, big rooms, really cool. You know, we get home and we're like back on the grind. Okay, we've got these shows that are friends that pitch us
Back
shows.
to no one caring.
Back to we're
and-
at this bar, dude, this tiki bar. There's maybe 6 people there. Nobody's
yeah.
paying attention. The 2 comics before us bombed so fucking hard. Kind of like what you experienced the first night that you went up, where the guy just sucked the life out of the room.
Yeah.
The material they were saying
then
was
you
just
gotta
so
try to-
cringy, and you're like, why are you talking about that? Like,
Yeah.
nobody can relate.
Okay, make it funny.
Yeah, nobody can relate to that because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just gross, or it's just
Or it's dark and sad.
dark or sad or whatever. Which
Yeah, like-
you can make funny, but if you're not funny,
Like
you're not gonna
that
do
one
it right.
guy, I felt like that. Like you're just like, oh man, sorry, man.
Just
Like,
yeah,
like,
you
I don't want
start to feel bad
Yeah,
for him
yeah.
when you're supposed to laugh with him.
Yeah.
So it was a similar situation like that. And thank God Danielle goes up before me. She's a vet, dude. She's been doing it for like 7-8 years now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she knows
riding
how,
those coattails.
Dude, oh yeah, man. I'm just an open micer looking for a way to the top, brother. I'm cheat coding my way out.
You got to.
And thank God for her, dude, because she's a vet. She knows how to read a room. She goes up and she just starts fucking digging into everybody. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the room's shutting up. They're listening. They're ready for comedy. She gets into her material.
That's awesome.
Sets it up. She talks about me. Sets me up perfect. I get to go up there and be like, I can't believe you said that about me. You know?
No, not
And then they're
me.
like, oh my God, did this just happen right now? He really didn't know? You know?
Yeah.
Like, no, this is material we've been
Yeah.
plugging for
Yeah.
6
Where's
months
that
now.
good?
Yeah. No, yeah. It's on the fly. But it was awesome, dude, and it saved the show.
Yeah.
And it was just, but those are the nights where you're like, fuck, man. And I turned to her too, right before she was about to go up. I was like, I don't want to go up. Like, I was like, I don't want to do it. They don't care. They're
Yeah.
not paying attention. I still get in my head a lot.
Oh,
before
yeah.
I go on stage.
I mean, it seems like, you're a year in, so like it's like you got to be learning so much. And I was thinking about like how much, like right there, like, dude, like how much the lineup has to do with a lot of things too. I mean, like okay, let me understand it better, but what I've gathered from time of seeing a bunch of shows is like, all right, if you're a band and you're going to see Guns N' Roses, like there's a band before a band and then Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
Like whereas with comedy, like you don't want to be the dude at the end. You want to be right in the middle,
You want to be the dude right in
Like,
the middle in the
yeah.
sweet spot
Yeah.
where they're not burnt out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From like laughing at fucking homeboy who's got like 19 Netflix specials already, and that's who they were there to see.
Yeah. And then
And
they
then you
leave
go up
you're
and
the
you got to
end.
keep that going.
Yeah.
Like that is the hardest thing ever. And you don't want to be the guy that opens the show while people are still kind of sitting in, still settling in, still checking their phones,
Yeah.
still like getting their drink orders. You don't want to be that guy either. You
Yeah.
want to be like third or fourth.
Okay.
Right in the sweet spot.
So
Where they've
Josh
seen,
set me up pretty well that night.
Dude, he gave you the prime.
Yeah.
You got a spot that we fucking work years to get, dude.
That's why I feel terrible about that.
No, don't
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
terrible. You fucking
You could
earned
tell,
it.
though, there was
you
a couple
earned it by
people-
shitting on TV.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
yeah,
mean?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
You
fair enough.
earned
Yeah.
your stripes. There's no cheat code.
Yeah.
You made us all laugh before we even thought to go try to make people laugh on
Yeah,
stage.
okay.
So don't worry about
But
that.
there were a couple that were like you could feel like they're like, nah, good job.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I thought you did good. Like,
Yeah,
I
well, fuck
said
them,
nice
they-
things to you, and then
Yeah.
you just kind of were a hater. All right.
They sucked. Half that lineup that night. Oh fuck, I don't want to say that. But like
Rewind
there were
that.
a couple people on that lineup that night.
No, I mean, they might have just had off nights, like,
Yeah,
because it felt like that
happens.
a little bit too with the one guy, because I think that guy has been pretty funny in other things, and
Yes.
I think he just had an off night, and it was like it got a little sad.
Well,
You're
that
like,
particular
oh.
guy, no. That guy has those nights regularly. Just
I was
Nobody knows who
saving
he
it.
is.
I was saving that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
well, I'm an alcoholic.
I gotta live my truth, man.
Assholes Anonymous.
Yeah.
But no, man. And I still get intimidated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when we do get pitched like shows at comedy clubs that are like big comedy clubs, sometimes I'll get in my head and sometimes I won't do as well as like I wanted to. And,
Yeah.
the funny thing is that when you're up there and you're firing on all cylinders, and then you have a night where you're like one cylinder is just kind of like not quite there,
Yeah.
you think the whole set sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get in your head and you get depressed.
But
and
you
it's the
kind
same
of,
shit.
what's nice for you is you have your partner that like can kind of help
yeah,
you. Like
she's-
if you're feeling like, man, that one sucks. She's like, yeah, it was 3/4 of the way good. Then that helps, because like I feel like if you're just in your head thinking it sucks entirely, you forego all the rest of that, and you forgo what your timing was on certain jokes, and you don't even think about those things. And then she can kind of help you get out of that and go, you know what, you're right. 20 maybe
said it different this
5
way.
minutes of it sucked at this part, but
Yeah.
the other 15 minutes were good.
She'll be like,
Yeah,
and we do that for each other. She'll be like, why'd you say it different this way? Or
Yeah.
why did you take so long to get to it this time? And I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the cool part about like having a partner that's doing the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Is like you guys are there to kind of like sit back with your notes and be like, oh, you did it that way, and bring it to your attention.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh fuck yeah, I did, didn't I? Fuck. And
Yeah.
then you're quick to correct it. We're like quick to sculpt each other into the best performers that we can be for the next show.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know what I
rad
mean?
because I'll be honest, the amount of time that I've spent around comedians, that is not what's happening.
No.
It's more like, fuck that dude. I don't want him to do well. Fuck him. And then it's like, oh, you got the show? Cool, man. And
Yeah.
they're like hating on you hard. Like there's a lot of that in that community that I
haven't
noticed
fucking
quickly.
got any of that my way
Yeah.
too much.
But I noticed
because I
it
am a
amongst
personable guy. I talk to
comedians.
a lot of people. Like I try to stay positive and like I've
Yeah.
spread a lot of like good energy. Like that's my main thing. But I
Yeah.
like also book shows out here, so I hook people up So a
Yeah,
lot of
so
people
you,
aren't.
yeah, you got the good way. Yeah,
So a lot of people aren't as shitty towards me
in
being
front of your face.
being in front of my face, being
Yeah,
only
yeah,
a
yeah.
year in and already being where I'm at. Like I'm getting opportunities that I shouldn't be getting.
Well, you're hustling at it, dude,
But-
and that's
but-
it. You know.
Danielle will tell you, she's like, I wouldn't be on tour with you if I didn't think you deserved it. If I didn't,
Yeah.
she'll say it. She'll be the first one to tell people, and it's not just because I'm giving her that sweet dick, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not. She's openly said it on podcasts and shit too, like other interviews. Like if he wasn't funny, I wouldn't fuck with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and the thing is too, I was gonna say that there's a big difference between being a year in and going up as much as you do, and working on it as much as you do, and being a year in and going, oh, once on a weekend or once every other week, I might, you know, or once a month I'll go up, because time, it's like, yeah, you've spent that year, but like, how many hours have you actually put into it?
exactly. It's like, okay, there's 365 days in a year. If you're doing 4 or 5 mics a night consistently 365 days a year, you've gone up a couple thousand times in that year.
Yeah.
Dude, you're ready. You're good. You're fine. You're
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, and
I mean, you're not like ready. You're not like golden or anything. Nobody's ever golden. There's never like a, all right.
No, but you're learning a ton throughout
but
that.
you're definitely more experienced than the guy that's 2-3 years in, but he only goes up 2 nights a week and only goes to 1 mic
Yeah,
twice.
And that's what I like. I have to imagine having tried one time. It was awesome. I could feel why you would get addicted.
You gotta eat shit once
Yeah.
before you really can fucking appreciate it.
Right,
man.
and like, and
And
that's
you
what I
will
was saying.
if you continue with it, you will. You'll hit those blocks where you'll be like, oh fuck, I don't want to do it again. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's what I was gonna say is like I had fun with that, and I could see how you would get addicted to it, but I also can appreciate how much you have to work at it, and how much you would learn over the process of it, and that no one's just instantly good at it. And
It doesn't matter if you were like the dude in high school that made everybody laugh. I've had some friends.
That guy's annoying as shit anyway.
Right?
We were talking about, we don't have to name names, but we were talking about comedians earlier that you didn't say anything poorly, just I did, because I feel a specific way about a couple of them, and that's what they remind me of, is like I'm funny in a locker room and I'm funny in front of the cute girls because they think I'm cute. Well, yeah, but you're not funny, but like you think that you are because the cute girl thought that you were funny.
So you have the
So then
confidence to
you're
do it.
funny, but you're
Yeah.
not really funny, and that's the hater in me, I guess, because it's like, well, technically they're funny because they're selling shows
doing
and they're doing
shit.
this and I get it. But to me, I struggle with that a little bit because
I don't think they're funny either.
yeah,
So we're good.
yeah. Because it's just like, oh yeah, I know you're cute and everything worked out for you in life. We get that, but that doesn't mean that you're funny.
Yeah.
I've always found, and this may not be universally true. There are some somewhat attractive comedians, but what I have found is that the fat guy who's balding and has funny ears is usually way funnier than the hot looking girl or guy,
And people
or
are
whatever.
more willing to like laugh with you
Yeah.
if you do look like that.
Yeah.
Than if you're like a hot dude.
Like if you see this hot girl walk up on stage, and even if she's funny,
the first thing that
the
you
first
do,
thing you're thinking is like, oh, hot girl. Then you see like this like overweight girl who's goofy looking, but she just walks up and is fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know. Like immediately, I'm like, yeah, I'm right with this person, and it's funny, and I'm not distracted.
you're not
by
thinking
anything
about
else.
like, oh, what's her
But if you look at the
wonder what her butt looks like.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And if you look at like a good-looking dude who goes up on stage and he's like, part of my funny is like I show my six-pack, and you're like, oh fuck,
Fuck
like
you, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, but then you see some goofy-looking guy who was staying home by himself on prom night.
Yeah.
and that guy's fucking funny
Because that guy's got fucking
Yeah.
stories that people
he's
can
laughing the
relate
tears
to.
away,
Yeah.
dude. And so like
No,
so, yeah.
there's a very small percentage of people that can relate to everything going good for them in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're going up there and you're talking about all these things that like aren't struggle, and relating it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
So like, you remember like when like all these hot girls wanted my number and stuff, and then like, work just gave me a bonus, and then I got a brand new car and I drove it home to
You're
my
like,
big
no,
house.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I don't relate to that at all.
No.
Yeah.
And it's all relatable. And then, and a lot of times you get those people that go up, the hot people or whatever.
Yeah.
The only stuff that they can do is observational shit, like shit that they see, and they don't relate it to themselves, because the last thing they want to do, because they've been built up their whole lives and everything's perfect and they think they're awesome and they're great, the last thing they want to do is like talk about the things that they're insecure about.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're secretly the most insecure people of them all.
Oh, for sure.
Because if they get one comment that isn't, "Oh my God, you're amazingly hot," it ruins their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the material that they steer clear from. But the most successful comedians, if you take notice, they're talking about it. They do still do the observational humor, but they tie themselves into it
Right.
and their personal experience with it. At some point.
Exactly, dude. I feel like that's the thing, because then you can connect with them, and that's what you want. You want
That's
that
it.
vulnerability of being able to
Yeah.
connect with somebody about what's funny, because that's what ends up being the funniest to me, at least, is the stuff I'm vulnerable about, or the stuff that I don't feel confident about, or the things that I fucked up in life. Like when someone can turn that and make it funny, or like sad stuff, make it funny, because like that's because
my favorite.
they're vulnerable.
That's
and
all I
yeah.
know how to do is
Yeah.
to turn my sad shit into something funny. You know what I mean? Like that's my whole shtick.
Exactly.
That's everything that I'm doing is I'm telling you like some fucked up shit, but I'm making you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's cool to laugh with me.
Yeah, and it's awesome that you can just like find your way like that. Like what works for you. And I feel like going up and doing that so often throughout this year is what helps you find your voice.
Dude, it's cathartic. And it's like if you're not talking about the best part about it too, if you're not, I mean, in my opinion, if you're not talking about yourself and your personal experiences, why the fuck are you even up there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And second, like it makes it so much easier so that your material doesn't get stolen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's
yours.
you.
Yeah.
And it's your personal experience. Like, granted, somebody may have something similar to it, but
They
it's not
can
going to be
relate.
exact.
Right.
If somebody goes up and does your shtick bit for bit, you're like, dude,
Yeah.
like everybody's going to know right away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
tell, like, this guy didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking too a little bit about, like being that we're in recovery and addict type people, it's kind of a great thing because like you were saying, like you love talking about comedy and you love thinking about comedy and you're going up all the time and you've been doing that for a year, like obsessively. It's kind of great that we are the obsessive type, because then you just get obsessive about what you're doing,
What you're
and
into.
you're like doing it, and like, and that's how you get good at it.
That's the thing, dude. It's constant repetition. And when did you go to a recovery center? Like, were you in rehab?
No, I actually.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, so what happened with me is like I sort of tell this part of it for me, but I had fucked up my finances. I lost my house, and then I had to move in with my mom, and I didn't have insurance, and like creditors were coming after me, and
Right.
and it was like this big problem, because what happened, I was drinking, getting paid a lot of money to drink in bars and do these things, and like so I would be able to get chunks of money, and then I would waste it frivolously on vacations and things, and I'd get chunks of money, and I just never thought, oh, it's not gonna end. Like I'll just always be able to go get 10, 20 grand real quick, and then I can sort this out.
Right.
And that kind of dried up and changed. And so what happened was that finances got bad and things got bad, and I didn't have insurance. So I was so afraid to go into a rehab because I felt that would bankrupt me, entirely,
Completely,
and then
yeah.
I'd be fucked. So what I did, and I call it the poor man's rehab, and I do not recommend it, because I went through DTs and I had a seizure, and then I ended up having to get go to the hospital anyway and have to pay for that, and have to get what do you call it, like the
drip or what?
yeah, basically I just had to get rehydrated by putting the
syringe in the
drawing a blank,
arm.
but so they're just kind of getting fluids back into me and doing that, but but it was not a good experience. But what I did do then is I did 5 meetings a day, and I just didn't leave the clubhouse, and I just
hung out,
stayed there and did that, and I smoked cigarettes in between, and then I went to a meeting, and then I smoked the cigarettes in between and talked to anybody that was around, and then I sat there with myself, and I would write down stuff, and then I'd go to the meetings, and I did that for like 3 months. And fortunately, because I didn't have a job at the time, and I was able to just kind of focus on that stuff. And I had a partner that was basically financially supporting me at that point, and she was just helping me kind of get my life back together. And you know, and I'm always grateful for that. And so that's what I did. But I did a makeshift rehab because I did need actual medical help that I ended up having to get. And then I went to meetings all throughout the entire day, and I just stayed there. So it was like I would have done rehab probably if I could have afforded it, or if I had insurance or something that would do it. But
the insurance helped a lot.
Yeah, so
and like a lot of general relief, like Obamacare at the time, helped a lot.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is that I can say honestly about myself, and I don't talk too deeply about it, you know, in public forum, but I have been lately. But what I'll say is that I'm happy with the way that mine went, and I think everybody has their own journey into getting clean and sober and doing what they have to do, and I'm happy that mine went the way it did, because sometimes I do think that if I had the money, or if I had the insurance, or if I had that, and I went to a rehab and they just like weaned me off of things and it was comfortable for me, and like I got to that place, I think I might exhaust that option as many times as I could if I could have manipulated situations and I could have done things and it wasn't that uncomfortable for me and this and that, I would have. But because getting sober was so fucking awful for me, I don't ever want to do it again, and that's how it is in my head. So I'm like, I don't know what it's like to go to a rehab and do that stuff, but I know how awful it fucking was to not.
Right.
And I don't want to do that again. So
did you ever have to go to jail or anything like that?
I mean, just little like nightly stays and stuff like that. You know, like you get locked up and then you get out in the morning or whatever. But
so you never actually had to go to like county and
stuff
like
that? No, I never
that?
had to go to county.
That was what got me.
You. Yeah.
I was like terrified. I was like, holy shit. Like all the stuff that you see on TV and stuff, which isn't how it is at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so over dramatized and stuff, but like I didn't know what to expect. So the scare of like, oh man, you're gonna get butt fucked. You know what I mean? You're like, somebody's gonna stab you.
Oh
you
man, you're gonna get butt fucked.
Yeah, like that was scary enough.
I love you. Like you bring your own Vaseline just in case.
And like I got a little butt. You know, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
And that's not the
you're
case
all fingering
at all.
your own butt before you go in the night before.
I had no idea what to
Gotta
expect.
get ready.
So that was scary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, but then like the whole like going into rehab and like they get you into repetition and like it's basically like boot camp, dude. You're up at fucking 6 a.m. You got to make your bed. You eat breakfast. You're in a meeting. You go, you smoke your 10-minute cigarette. Then you're back in another meeting. Like that repetition of just like drilling it. I needed that. It like drill sergeanted me. You know what I mean? I got home, got my life back together where I'm like, okay, cool. Like anytime my room even gets slightly messy or something slightly, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Super cleanly now. You know what I mean? Like it was like going into the military, but like not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that like prepped me, and it did the same thing for like comedy. It was like, okay, I like doing this, so I want to do it all the time. And I have no reason not to, because I can't go and like just chill and hang out at our bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'll be like, all right, what's next?
Use that
stay
time
on the move.
wisely.
Stay on the move. So it's just boom, boom, boom. It's grinding. It becomes easy. You know what I mean? It becomes repetitious. You do what you want to do when you do it. You go to work, you come home, hit a mic, hit another mic, go to sleep. You know, eat, go
that's
to sleep.
rad.
So it's just that cycle, and it keeps you in check. And it gives you, like, I feel like I read this book while I was in jail. It was called The Purpose-Driven Life. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It was written by Rick Warren, and it's basically like a guide to like find what it is you love and just pour all your energy into it. So pages from that just keep resonating in my mind, and a lot of it like brings you closer to to God or whatever,
Yeah.
taboo subject for some people, not for me. I don't
Right,
care.
right.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like I had to
I
find-
just butt fucked God last night.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But yeah.
We all had to figure it out, you know what I mean, in
he was
our
in
own
jail,
way.
amazingly enough. yeah.
Whatever, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
a lot of it was like tying it in, not forgetting like, oh, like, you're given these opportunities, make the best of it, and
Yeah.
just find what you love, and like Bukowski said it right, like find what you love and let it fucking kill you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm basically treating this as an addiction until it's
And
not
it's
fucking working anymore.
Right, and it's a positive and healthy
It's a
addiction,
positive one.
and that's what's rad.
You see
is-
progress,
yeah.
you see feedback for it. When you drink, you might get laid. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But where does it go from there?
Yeah.
You might get a TV show on MTV, but
yeah, and then it might fucking ruin all your friendships and all of your and your health and your everything. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do it. I was thinking, dude, it's been so rad sitting down and having like a long chat with you. We had met each other at the club, then we talked a little bit about your shit story, but it's good to sit and talk more and more about it. I was wondering, like what shows you have coming up, because like I think we started it with talking about couples therapy, which is your show with your girlfriend, and she goes up first. What's Danielle's last name?
Danielle Arce. And you
Danielle
can find her
Arce.
on Instagram at Danielle Arce Comedy. You can find me at Nick Romero Comedy. You can find our company Stray Life Entertainment on there as well at straylife.ent. And like you can find out what shows we got going on, all of that. We're doing a lot of more local based stuff this month. And then next month, she's my booker. She's the one that keeps track of everything. She's the one that submits all my shit,
That's rad.
gets us all our shows that aren't stuff that we independently produce.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. Like I'm the head of Stray Life Entertainment. I'm the one that books all the stuff here.
Yeah.
That's like in this particular town in South Bay. Like if you see Stray Life Entertainment Presents, that was me. I put that shit together.
Yeah, that's rad.
And she's the one that books our stuff everywhere. I do all the flyers, all the promotions and stuff.
Nice.
Like I'm the one.
So you
doing
guys are your own personal street
we're
team.
our own
Yeah.
fucking street team, dude.
Dude, that's rad,
But,
and it sounds like just an awesome,
It's a cool dynamic that we got going on, but we're also we're comics. We're still fresh into a relationship.
Yeah.
So we're still figuring that shit out. Everything's not fucking roses all the time.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
We have the same relationship problems as everybody else. Honeymoon phase is starting to wear off. Sometimes her fucking face annoys the shit out of me. Sometimes my face annoys the shit out of her. Same shit.
Yeah.
We're going through the same shit.
Well,
You
and
know what
that's
I mean?
and that's what's awesome, and we've been saying the word relatable. I just saw the Ellen special that she had, relatable, and that was pretty awesome. And but just the relatable thing is that couples therapy. It's like everybody needs it. Everybody that's in a
Everybody
relationship.
needs it. If you want a real one, you know what I mean?
You're
we
all
go
kinda
up there
going
and we
through
air
stuff.
a dirty laundry, man. And
Yeah.
if you can get a kick out of that, being like, oh, all these things that I think about my girlfriend, they go up and they fucking say it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where you say it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We throw each other under the bus, and it's fun.
Yeah, that
you know
is
what I mean?
fun. Yeah.
It's fun, and then we don't have to fight about it at home doing it.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
get to do it on stage.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's-
mean?
that's
it's
rad.
fun.
So cool. So check out again your website.
Yeah, check
is-
out Nick Romero Comedy on Instagram, Danielle Arce Comedy on Instagram, and fucking follow this man's podcast if you're not already.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, this dude is killing the game right now.
Bathroom Break Podcast on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
And Rab_ himself, and then we have Rab himself videos. We'll throw this up on the YouTube page
Hell
there.
yeah, dude.
So
this was
sweet.
fun, man. It's
Dude, hell yeah.
the first time we met, we just got into a conversation and just kind of fucking connected, and it was
Yeah.
cool that we had a lot of shit in common. And,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to sit down and finally fucking hash this shit out, man.
Hell
It's
yeah.
cool.
Well, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks, brother.
All right.